So when you're building your employer brand, it's really important to coordinate and collaborate with your consumer brand. And consumer brand is something that almost all organizations have had and they've been building for years and in some cases decades. So in many cases, they're much more sophisticated, they're much more well established, and in the absence of any conscious employer branding, your consumer branding tends to be the driver in candidates' perceptions of what your organization must be like to work. As you start building your employer brand, it's really important to do that in a way that is well coordinated with the consumer branding efforts. Most importantly, getting outside of the tactics for a moment is really the collaboration and partnership with the teams. So oftentimes the consumer brand is going to be led by the marketing department. You want to really make sure that you're working closely with your marketing team so that they understand your goals for employer branding and they understand that what you're doing is actually complementary and supportive to their efforts. You have different target outcomes, obviously. You're trying to attract people to work for your organization. They're trying to attract people to buy your products or services. But in many organizations, with employer branding still be a fairly new and emerging field, the consumer brand leaders may not be as familiar with employer branding, and frankly, they may be, at times they can be somewhat territorial around other people representing the brand. So you really want to make sure that you work closely with your marketing department, make sure that they understand what your goals are for employer branding, what you're looking to do, and how that can ultimately benefit their consumer branding efforts. Once you're ready to get started, chances are if you're building your employer brand from scratch, one of the components of that will be activating your social channels. Now in the early stages, you're obviously not going to have a lot of followers. This is where that partnership with your consumer brand team can really benefit you, because if you've got a good collaboration there, you can actually reach out and be strategic around some of your initial social media posts, whether they're on Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn, or wherever you may be activating, and actually have your consumer brand accounts help share and amplify that content, particularly in the early stages, so that you can expose your smaller channels to their audiences that could be up to the millions of followers. And that's a great way to get known. So again, really invest when you're building out your employer branding and your recruitment marketing efforts to a collaborative and tight relationship with your marketing department so they understand what your goals are in employer branding and how those two things can be symbiotic when they're working together.